have specifically requested to hold introductions just for a couple of minutes. John and I wanted to start off our workshop with a little bit of a demonstration, if you will. So we will be talking about this afterwards, so pay attention if you have any thoughts. Feel free to write them down, and we'll get started whenever John is ready. Now maybe, should I start off by just saying what this is right here? All right, imagine if you will, we are standing downstairs, and right behind us here, we have the window on Washington Waters. That's the right title? Window on Washington Waters? Perfect. Yes.
Well, welcome to the Seattle Aquarium. Welcome to our exhibit, The Window on Washington's Waters. And this is a special week. Can anybody think of a reason why this is a special week?
Warm out.
Warm out? Something about an octopus? Well, for some of us, at least, we paused this week to remember an important person, Martin Luther King Jr. And I don't know, do you know, did he ever see Washington's Waters? I don't know, but he did think an awful lot about equality and justice. And as you think about the oceans and changes in the world's oceans, those changes will affect people as well as species in the oceans all around the world. And sometimes people ask me, well, what can I do to help? Because the changes won't affect everyone equally. And so there's kind of an equality and justice issue. So I hope you'll start today asking questions. What are those changes? And what can I talk with your families, your groups? What can we do to help?
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Seattle Aquarium, and welcome to the Window on Washington Waters. This is an amazing exhibit. I have to say it's one of my favorites here at the Seattle Aquarium. And a lot of people come here and they're amazed that we have such diversity right off the coast of Washington. We can look into this exhibit and we see at the top, we see coho salmon and rockfish. And down at the bottom we see anemones and sea cucumber. And a lot of people are really surprised that we have this diversity right off the coast of Washington. Oftentimes, some people at least, that have been to tropical places, that have maybe been snorkeling or scuba diving, when they think of marine diversity, they think of places in the tropics, they think of coral reefs. But even though we technically have subarctic waters here in Washington, and even though we don't have reef-building corals, we do have an incredible diversity of life. And today, in my talk, what I'd like to talk to you about is one of the specific parts of the diversity that we find off of our coast, and that's in a really special plant that provides shelter for a lot of animals. Can anyone tell me what it is? Kelp, absolutely. We see that right here in this exhibit.
Welcome to the Window on Washington's Waters. This is an amazing exhibit, partly because it shows the incredible innovations that people are able to do. This exhibit is a result of innovations in materials development like plastics and acrylics, fiberglass, pump systems. To make this exhibit and lots of other aquarium exhibits, we had to solve problems that the ocean solves every day. The ocean has figured out, most days, how to get oxygen into the water. Did you know fish can drown? Well, they need oxygen just like we do, and they get it from the water. And the ocean has solved that problem. But in exhibits, we have to figure out how to solve it. And we're trying to solve a different kind of problem that the ocean hasn't figured out. That is, how do we allow air breathers, like people especially, to look into the ocean? Because it's not so easy to do. And it's because of innovations and the innovative spirit of people that we've been able to figure this out. And as we face into challenges that are facing the ocean, I hope you'll tap into your own innovative spirit as you look for ways that you can participate in solving those challenges.
Well, welcome everybody to the Window on Washington Waters. As we take a look into this exhibit, we can see that it's really a great overview. It's a really great big picture of the amazing diversity that we find off of Washington's coast. And really, this exhibit here, like the others that you'll find at the Seattle Aquarium, is really just one single slice of the blue planet, a planet that's covered in oceans that we're all a part of, and that, as far as we know, there is only one. But as we look into this exhibit, we can see that the ocean is capable of supporting an incredible diversity of animals. And the amazing thing is that we are the guardians of the blue planet. We're guardians of ecosystems like this. And especially in times like this, when we are seeing change in the oceans, when we're seeing change in our climate, it's really up to us to step up and make sure that we are ensuring the long-term health of ecosystems like this, that we are responsibly managing these resources.
Welcome everyone to the window on Washington's waters. This is a really cool exhibit. One thing it does well is it exhibits different groups of animals. Like, for example, cnidarians. Anybody ever heard that word before? What's a cnidarian? Anyone? An anemone is a good example. Yeah, and they're really cool. And we also have echinoderms in here. Has anybody ever heard of an echinoderm? It's okay to raise your hand, really, it's safe. Echinoderm means spiny skin. Does anybody know what an example in this exhibit is of spiny skin? Sea urchin. Anything else? Sea cucumber. I heard somebody say another one. Sea star. Sure. And then, of course, we have a lot of different kinds of wonderful bony fishes. What would be some of those examples that are famous from our area?
Well, welcome everybody to the window on Washington waters. As you'll see as you travel throughout the Seattle Aquarium, this is our biggest tank. It's something that we're really, really proud of. It holds about 120,000 gallons of freshly filtered seawater that comes right here from Puget Sound. And we filter this seawater about every hour and a half. It's pretty incredible. And of course, in order to hold up all of this water, we've got these giant windows. Now these windows, if you can believe it, weigh about as much as 6 orcas, over 50,000 pounds. And the glass is over a foot thick. And it holds some pretty cool animals.
Welcome to the window in Washington's waters. Tell me, have any of you ever been to kindergarten? Does anybody remember kindergarten? Some of you do. Have you ever heard of a man named Robert Fulghum? He wrote a really wonderful essay. He wrote, "Everything I ever really needed to know I learned in kindergarten." And some of the things he said he learned in kindergarten are share, hold your hands and look both ways before you cross the street, clean up messes that you make. Clean up messes that you make. Well, you know, oceans, like right here next to the Seattle Aquarium, are affected by things we might call messes, things that we're all part of, and we don't mean to do it. But when we do things like drive our cars and burn fossil fuels and emit carbon dioxide into the air, it affects oceans, including those right here. And you could kind of think of that as a mess. And if we remember back to what we learned in kindergarten, we might want to think about how can we help clean up the messes we're making.
Waters, the window on Washington waters. Now, oceans like the one right here off the coast of Washington are really special places. And I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to make the assumption that since all of you are here tonight, that the ocean is a special place to each and every one of you. Am I right? Yeah. I want all of you to just take a moment and think about something in your memory, something you've experienced with the ocean that's really had an impact on you. Now, everybody on this planet is interconnected with the oceans. It's something that a lot of people actively care about. We eat from it. We surf across it. Some of us might scuba dive or snorkel in it. We sail across it. And sometimes we're even inspired by it. Now, even people who have never seen the ocean before, they're connected to it as well, because they're nourished by the rain that falls and by the climate that is ultimately driven by the oceans. And really, all of us, the blood that runs through our veins has about the same salinity as the seawater that you find right here in this exhibit and in the oceans right here. So we are interconnected to the oceans, and it is up to us to protect them.